Evening. How are we doing? Thoughts? Evening. You doing alright? Good day? Russian Tiba, hello there. Welcome in. Welcome back. Do a little bit of tidying up before we get back in. Mute it, well that's a bonus. See if it helps. I'm just doing it.
I didn't think you had it.
Oh, I'm here, what's up?
I'm your huckleberry.
Evening, Nikki.
Who's that? Ollie. Hello there. How's it going? You making one of those with a 3D pen? He's going to be a wobbly fellow. I was looking forward to getting a chance to play with Blender 4 this week. It looks like it's been pushed back a week. Yeah. They just released a thing 2 hours ago. I was reading it on Mastodon saying that they've pushed it back. Right. Today, what are we up to? I was going to do some detail work on these bits, but I don't feel like that today. We have enough to do without working on lots of nonsense. Here's a bit about no worries. I'm going to fix this silver on here first because I didn't finish it off, and then we're going to get the gunmetal, and we're going to work in the sides of these rocket pods. I think that's the plan. Let's hang these back up. I need to get handling all these screws and stuff. So if we're keeping those, we're not keeping that because that's just old water. Let's put them in one of these pots. So we have a choice of gunmetals because one is this gunmetal. This is the other one. Not sure what colour to do because I want something that's different to this tone. But I don't want it to be too weird looking. So that's too dark, I think. It's a bit like the metallic black from this range. I will find a use for that one day. I just haven't quite got it yet. So that's what we're going to need. Let's move these because I nearly sent them flying by hitting them with a bottle. They're going to be handy later on. Been not a busy stream today. We've just started. It's usually busier than it has been at the start of stream. What do I keep knocking with this chair? Everything. Let's see how we get on. We've literally just started. Right. Metals and then gold. That's going to be our thing. I want to get this one closer to being complete so we can focus on that one, get that to that stage, and then I need to just adjust that decal. It's a little bit not quite where it needs to be. Don't be doing that. Should be all right now. Did I put that inside the wrong pot? I did. I need a container for this. And I need my silver. Do you see here? Well, I say silver, it's actually steel we're going to be using. I need a lot of this. I'm waiting for my iPad batteries buggered. So it doesn't ever hold charge. And I use it to keep tabs of my chat window. Because I have a monitor up here, so I can check my camera's in focus. And the iPad's there, so I can keep tabs of chat, but it ain't great. And then my big screen's here, but it's behind monitors. If you see me doing this, it's because there's a camera literally right here. Just where my finger is. Okay. Steel first. Just to fix that problem I saw. And it was in there where I can see water. So annoyingly, these engines are quite tricky to get angle on. There we go, I think that should cover it. That can come off because we'll do that separately. These need to be painted in black, I think, first. At least the bodies. And then we'll do gunmetal, and then these end bits we'll do silver. Well, you'd be alright. It's only what, 200 degrees? You're not lived until your bed. Right, is it working now? Yes, it's working now. Live, switch to creator mode, stream manager. There we go. The only thing about this is it's just You think you're getting on top of it, and then there's details everywhere. Yeah, that's a good colour. That's the one we want. So I want to try and paint inside first, because they're not going to get played with these, they're just going to stay forward. But just in case it gets opened up, I want to make sure that it's painted. So we'll do the insides of both. There's not much to see at the moment while I'm doing this. The fascias of all of these, oh, there's loads of red I've missed in there. We'll keep the grey colour, I think, because it'll get dirty when we do our enamel stage. Azkabans are pretty good. Like having a white one is always really good for scale model work. I wouldn't do much painting with them, but for like graffiti and stuff, they're great. I got silver on there. Thought I'd clean that up. Okay, it's all right. Stop. So this, at the moment, it looks really sort of weird and just silver. We'll do some weathering to it and make it look nice. While we're here, I'm going to do these 3 raised bits, whatever they are. bubbles in there, but we can pop them. That. And then there's a skull down here we'll do, but we'll leave that for later. About these steps. I think we need to do the steps. And this model will be the guide for finishing the other one. I know you can't see much while I'm doing these, but they are in a really awkward place. Yes, I think this works. What steps? What are you doing? And the steps are now in. Some detail points within the engine fascias. We'll hit those. Both sides. We'll get this other engine sorted now. We'll attempt the front as well later. Before we do the gold, I need to remember I need to do the front. You can't get the sides off. What are you doing? Are you building on paper so you can separate it from your surface? That helps, just putting a little bit more detail on. I need to put some more masking solution, not masking solution, some microsol on those. Maybe a second coat across these, yeah, I don't know. Just making it up as we go along. I need to carefully do in here. That's not twice. So we'll do it in halves because I think that's going to be the only way to do this. Always paint to your angle, so like I'm not going to be doing this. We'll just turn it over. And do exactly the same motion as we've just done. Those two, we need to try and get those little ends in now, though. That's going to be a tricky bit. You got no worries about me doing that. That's exactly what we're going to be doing. Remember, all those models above me. The stuff I've done. Just everything looks rough at this stage. So we need to fix the red on those because it's a mess. Jambit, hello there. It's going alright, thank you, buddy. We're just still painting in details before we can, you know, get to the bit we want to be at, which is doing all the weathering and the chipping and all the enamel work. It's a slow going process, but we do have 2 of them to do. This is going to be Space Wolves. It's a bit of a darker take on the Space Wolf theme. Because standard Space Wolves are... I don't like it. They're a bit too... well, baby blue. No thanks. But we'll get there. With the way that we paint in that grim dark style, then you ain't gonna get chapters back. I think a chapter's not a thing already. What do you mean? You feel a sense of loss with the direction 10th edition went with Tyranids and the lack of High Fleet designations. There's still High Fleet designations. Unless I'm mistaken in what you're going on about. It's like there are different High Fleets. probably just not picking up what you're putting down. Like, there's still Behemoth and Jormungandr and Leviathan, etc. Oh, I missed a bit. Good job, Potts. Do they not? It's interesting. You'd think they'd have kept that for flavour. I know Imperial Knights have them still, but well, depending on what happens with the Codex. This is where we need Fish to pipe up if he's in. Probably isn't in yet. So this one's approaching the point where all the details painted in. I thought I had gold to paint on there. I thought Marines would still be fairly bespoke. At least Space Wolves and Dark Angels, Blood Angels. That's what I want to do. I want to do the inside of the ears. Did I say I wanted to do something or did the gold? I can't remember what it was. Tidy up the red. That does sound a bit rubbish. No worries, catch you in a bit. Right, let's have a think then. What do I need to do next? Tidy that red up. Let's do that. I don't know how I missed this yesterday, whenever it was I was doing it, the day before. Same on this one. Okay, they're looking a bit more solid now. Good work. Right, we need to do that and that. Oh, and the top guns, these. Thing is, let's get prepared for those then. Black, 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 black. Gunmetal, gunmetal. Or silver. Silver, because we don't have any more. The only silver we've got is this. So if we do that silver, it brings more silver into it. So might as well get that black done first. That might be a little bit of a risky spot to put the black in. They're just really tricky to work on though, just because of the position of them. So black barrel is in place. Let's do it again. Right, that's first section in place. Go wait for those to dry and see whether they need a second coat. Also, while we're here, now those decals have set, we can score the panel lines. It's nice. That one. That one doesn't seem to sit properly. Now it does. Yeah, those are good. Pick up. A lot of my viewers, you know, get back from work, have jobs to do, have their dinner and families to sort out before they get to sit down. One coat's going to be enough on those. We've got 20 people in. A lot of people just like to lurk around here. And they're relaxing, so they just quietly chill out. There's Gosu. Oh. How's it going? We're getting closer to being able to varnish this one. Got the front to do. I'm doing these guns at the moment. Trying to get these bloody bands of silver in. Nice. What you decided to do for the screens? It's a mess.
Okay.
Well, how much filament have you got? That's usually going to be the deciding aspect. And whether you're enjoying doing it, I personally wouldn't do too many. Just I couldn't be bothered. But if you're having fun, you do whatever. That's helped a lot. I'll probably break out the airbrush before the end of stream and do the Top Gun. So you're either going to do it green or red for the big screen, leaning towards green and red for the smaller screen. I probably wouldn't do green in that thing. I would probably do blues. I know you go, oh, but green's the complementary colour to red and unites red. Yeah, but you don't want it to look like Christmas. For the screens, you don't really need it. Just do them plain. Because I think you're going to do a little bit of OSL on it anyway, so there's no point. So I need a colour for the back of here. We'll do it in gold or something. Copper would be best, but there's no copper on the entire thing yet. Just getting those guns in's helped though. We could even do some colour effects on those because they are las cannons. Right, next up. I think it's gold work. Well, it is gold work because we have the front of this to do. But we also have some bone to paint on. Gotta go. Take it easy. I'm gonna put a little bit of bone in here. What you could do that could be quite funny, Gosu, is do one of the screens, like the main screen, blue, and do the Windows blue screen of death on the actual oval screen. As he's doing his praying to get it booted back up. Yeah, I would do them just solid colours and then put a little bit of white over them and then blast it with a bit of OSL with a colour. Let that dry before we do our next step. I might do something with these, I don't know yet. We'll have to do a little bit of edging, I think. Just a little bit of edge highlighting on some of these. Right, if I need to do a little bit of edge channel, because I need to do it now because my brain's looking at this going, well, that's not right, you need to get that sorted out. We need to find a colour, and I might use just the colour we used for the blush. So I'm happy with the separation mostly around here, it's just down here. Let's have a quick squirt of it and see what we think. That was rubbish, I just got a line in there which I didn't need, but it'll be fine. Carry on. So there's a little bit of highlighting on there, just a tiny little bit of edging. I thought it's supposed to be like a contrast though, isn't it? that was shit. Try that again. And again, what's going on with my brush? Well, how are they going to see this under the chipping and stuff anyway? I'm just want to get a bit of differentiation on those angles. I think that'll do it. It's also a little bit dusty. Have a look at this. So I'll have to liquid mask this top and this bottom section and spray it all metallic. At least a dark metal. And then I can go in and brush paint the rest. Now we're going to get the bottom of this in neatly. I've got the top in neat enough. Do we get a brush in it? I think we get a brush in it. This one. Check it's the right brush first. Don't do this unless you know what's going on. You brush in your liquid mask. The reason why I'm doing this is because I was told that you can do it with this stuff, but we will soon find out. I can't believe that map we were on last night on Deep Rock. Just an unending hell. Thing is, I forgot I had the portable shield that would have been so handy on that map. I'd not played Gunner for a few games. And Gunner, you get a deployable structure thing. Dome shield. Which would have been handy. Right, that needs to go and live there. Which is good until you realise you've only got 4. It's time for some gold. Original gold first, but we'll get our pale burnt metal to mix in with it. The thing is, there's 2 difficulty levels higher than that. We were on normal. There's hard. There might be 3 above that. Some of the higher difficulty modes that you unlock, like for the deep dives and stuff, like, so those missions are 1 mission. I'm waiting for that to dry. That 1 mission we did was 1 mission, and you finish it and you go back to the space rig. The deep dives are 3 interconnected maps. So you get to the end of 1 doing 1 thing, and you go deeper into another map, and then deeper again, and the deeper you get, the harder they become. So yeah, they're quite fun. You can't say, all right, we'll stop after this one. You've got to do all three of them. Yeah, good. Yeah, that's where you get all like your. So in addition to when you get your weapons and you can do like the trees of what you want to spec your weapon out like, you can get overclocks, and there's stable overclocks, which might be you get extra ammo, it reduces your reload time, but you do slightly less damage. So you get 2 positives but 1 negative. That's a stable overclock, and there's different ones of those that will do different things. Each weapon can have 1 overclock, and you can switch them out in will whenever you want. There are also unstable overclocks. Like one unstable overclock I have for the engineer is there's a weapon which fires a purple line that cuts through whatever's in front of it. Now you can spec it out just standardly. So instead of it being 1 line, it will either do 1 line and you can explode it. It'll do 3 lines like a barrier, and it'll kill in 3 different heights. And I can't remember what the third one of those options is, but the unstable overclock you can get, or at least one of them for it, spins them round. So you'll just get this fence that spins round as it moves forward, and then you can explode it with a button. So those are quite fun. Anyway, you get the chance to not just build your weapon loadouts, but also your overclocks in order to help you do these high difficulty deep dives. They're good. Like, you just scratch the surface. I think you've only done like 2 different mission types. You've done the one that the refinery. Yeah, we probably will do after stream. Time we're on now anyway. We haven't been going too long. 9:30, so we're halfway through. By the end of today, I want to have sprayed that in metallic. Maybe do the barrels on the side in the gold colour. And I want to have all the gold trim up to where it needs to be. So we're going to start that now. Those are all fresh paint, so I need another one of these. I'm running out of bottle tops. And what's your suggestion? You tell me what your suggestion is, and I'll tell you whether we'll do it or not. While I shake this paint up. Ragnar, hello, how are you doing? Thank you, we're getting there. This one's more advanced than the other one. I think I might need to paint that black first, you know, I don't know. I'm just looking at how deep the details on it are. I don't know what transfers I've got for it. That's the only thing. Gotta watch, it doesn't look like a tax disc. So we put no, we'll do it all in gold, and then I can get some washes in there. I actually have some transfers just underneath for like how to open the thing. Welcome back. How are you, Ragnar? For a glaze-like effect, would oils, inks, or contrasts work better? Well, so what are you wanting to paint, first of all, is going to be my question to you. Because all of those can do it, but some are better at doing it at certain roles than others. What do you want to do? Darken up some marines. So I wouldn't use inks. A nice oil wash might help you out. Contrast's good. Black Templar's nice. It sounds like somebody's doing some painting again. Inks are difficult to control because they're far too strong. In that case, you could get some Black Templar contrast and some contrast medium and dilute it a little bit and try it that way. But a black oil wash might work nicely and will probably require less effort. We have our gold thing. It's all gold at the moment, but as soon as we get a wash on it and some highlights, it'll be really good. Just checking all our angles. So what chapter or scheme are you going for? Black. What are you trying to get to? I can give you a nice black recipe if you'd like a black recipe. Going by my black recipes: A, paint everything black, and then use either Dawnstone through an airbrush, or this colour, which is Dunkelgrau Dark Base. It's like a really deep blue. It's like a brighter inky by darkness is what I will say it is. So Dawnstone, sort of a grey blue, strict zenithal from the top. That's what we've done on this. This is all the black that's on the front of here, and the wings. He's done in that. It's come out quite nice. Because you don't just want, in my opinion, you don't want something that's just straight down the middle, pure black, with no colour variation at all. Because you have red and white, so to stop it looking really toy-like, add a little bit of coolness to the black, and it'll make your red stand out more. Because the coolness in this regard, it's got a slight tint of green to it, just a slight, which A, will off-play against the red that's in 30k Dark Angels, and also it'll have that little bit of the thread that connects it to 40k Dark Angels by having it a little bit off black. And it looks more blue here because it's next to this grey blue. But that's pretty much the recipe that I'm going for my Black Templars. Which the same reason I'm using those colours for Black Templars is because if I can make it a little bit more blue with a little bit of highlighting and scuffing here and there, will go nicely with the yellows that I'll be putting in. I've only got 4 P3 blues, 4 P3 paints even, and they're all to do with painting flesh and skin. I'll show you them. These are my P3s. These 3 plus a sanguine highlight, which is a pink. Oh, they were right. Fancy that. So this was the paintbrush that I used. It's a good paintbrush. In my liquid mask, I do not recommend doing this standard liquid mask, but the Mr. Masking Solution Neo. Used the paintbrush, and then once it dried, I just went zoop, and it came off in one. Got a bit of stuff in it. Can't do that with latex masking fluid. That's nearly dry. Just spotted something needs doing. Add a little bit of in need of a second coat. Even then, that shouldn't matter, because it's only a secondary colour, isn't it? You're predominantly going to be dark. You could try it on a little bit of cardboard. German grey might be a little bit too pale. You've got like a Dunkel Grau, which has got a bit more colour to it. Or even Inky by Darkness is not far off it. Let me open it up because this is all sorts of settled out. Okay, so Inky by Darkness might be a little bit too saturated. But if you cut that with some grey, dark grey or some black, you would be far off this. Zoom you in. Inky by Darkness on the left, the colour I use for over black on the right. As long as you're doing little coats of it with your airbrush, you just want to have variation. And remember, when you're doing any sort of zenithal work, if you're going straight down, that's fine. But if I went straight down on here, literally only that would get hit, which is exactly what a zenithal is. But let me get this tape off this. Same thing again. If I turned it, this is the airbrush. That's your zenithal, but it doesn't just mean spray the top, because you want to hit all those bits of edges of detail. So you can spray down the side and catch all the raised bits of detail down the side with it. But don't overdo it. Don't spray too much, otherwise you're then just spraying grey. Same one here, you just want to try and catch where the bits are. So spray across a surface at a very low angle. A bit like how a sunset works. Right, I need to brighten this gold up. So I'm going to shake up the pale burnt metal. Yeah, just a little bit, and then look at it. Don't overdo all your other models, because you're going to use those as a comparison. Just a little bit. And then if you need to do more, you can always do more. But it's not just a little bit. You need to do a little bit to catch the detail. Don't go too wide with it. You definitely want to be at a top angle and just little sprays. Remember, you're going over black, so it's going to be darken the colour over the top of it. If you do little sprays, it's going to still look quite translucent when you're doing it. So I'm going to put this pale burnt metal in this little pot, which you can't see because I'm zoomed in this little pot. It's quite a goldish hue to it without going too artificial gold, and it won't come out because it's blocked. Every time. And now it won't come out because it's being a turd. There we go, finally. What should I do with a little bit of red in it? What have we got in the way of red? It's Ashwood Copper. I've just put a little bit of the carrier medium in it. Oh, that's nice. So that Ashwood Copper that's on the desk there, if you don't know whether you spotted me doing it, wasn't really shaking.
When I found out that my toaster wasn't waterproof, I was shocked.
It's a good one. Thank you. How you doing? You might have warmed it up too much now. So what I'm doing here is I'm not going crazy. Hey, Lupu. Yeah, they're pretty cool. We're just adding a little bit of the paler gold here and there. We don't want to cover everything up that we've done. We want to keep it looking a bit raw. Painting's going okay. We're just modulating the gold paint a little bit before we do our wash, and then we'll have to come back and re-brighten, etc. Well done. Hello. We're doing probably like mountainous steps. So lots of browns and autumny sort of a colour. Peat-like. Trying to work out whether I need to go a bit warmer with the gold, but no, it's looking okay. How you doing, Lupu? What have you been up to, Pearl? Bases will probably be next week, because they're going to have to start not just laying them on the table.
Welcome to fucking Deadwood!
Who's that? Paul Radcliffe, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. I have to make sure it didn't say Paula for a second. Thank you. You've got a long way to go, but we're getting there. You can see the sister ship at the back, which is going to require a lot of work as well. It's fairly straightforward with an airbrush. You just got to study the shapes and then you spray like across a shape. Technique's called color modulation, and it's none of it's real. Like, it's none of it's realistic. But that doesn't matter when you're doing this sort of thing, because it's such a boxy model. But it's all about getting the contrast in there so it doesn't look flat. The gold's looking a little bit more interesting at the moment. I'm hoping it'll pick up even more once we get the wash on and do our second coat of highlights on it. Like, I'm doing this now, but I'm sort of dancing the paintbrush across the surface, because I know that this mix that we've made is more reflective than what was on there. And it just makes the gold look a little bit aged and beat. And we're doing this before we do any chipping to the grey, because that'll be coming, and battle damage. So looking forward to getting the weathering colours on there. Just chilling on state opening of Parliament Parade tomorrow. What does that involve? Well, rest them for a little bit. You've still got like 2 hours before we even start, so they might get better by then. Plenty of time to rest up. What I want to do in a second is I'm going to zoom into this section that I've done this to, and you'll see the light play on that front. You see how it catches on here? That's what we're up to. Household Cavalry. I didn't know you were in the Household Cavalry. I'll try and make this a bit fancy. How long you been in there? "20 years. It's like a lifer." Zoom Wolf, hello. How you doing? Welcome in. We're doing alright, thank you. Yeah, we're just plowing along, working on this model. I'm trying to highlight the gold up at the moment. I'm trying to make it look a bit more interesting than just flat. All this will look completely different once we get what's it called? Our main wash colours on this. It's always the hard bit to visualise, because you don't know whether you're doing too much highlighting on the gold or not enough. Do you do painting and stuff, Tim Wolf? Yeah, Pearl Jam's in one of the fancier units. At least one of the more famous ones. So I've got that wolf highlighted up. Yeah, you just rest them eyes because we're going to dig in later. Okay, it's all right. Sides are, it's a lot shinier already, I can tell that much. Need to do the front next. So this is like the pre-wash highlight. Because there's so much gold on this and it's large. The wash will darken up a lot of it, so we're going to have to go back in. And sort it out. Well, this one is a landing unit. Like this comes down. So this will all get dirty, and this front will be dirty. But there'll be a lot of atmospheric dirt that goes into it, like black streaks and stuff. Ideally, I'd shift the gold a little bit more pinky. But it'll work once it's all together. Pretty much. The other one won't have any mud on it. Because it's just got a gun at the front. Rough at the moment. Right, let's clear the airbrush, spray that thing. What time are we on? We're only on 10. We're doing alright. Decals have helped a lot. Well, wait until we've got further on the other one. I'll have a look on Discord now for you. Where are we looking? I don't see pictures yet. Just stick him in the channel. No one's going to be laughing at you. You experimenting. Yeah, let's clean the airbrush and do that bit. Yeah, so we're definitely going to have to go paler on that gold. And I can tell by my two colours here are too close together. Put one in the whip. It must be uploading because I can't see it yet. Unless Discord's being Discord again. Must be because I'm going to restart Discord. It's going alright. We've highlighted the rest of the gold on here. Get a bit more of a shine. We've done most of the detailing on it. We're going to clean the airbrush and put it in the right Discord might help. Quick updates. We're going to have to do the decals on that other one. See whether they're in the right channel now. Not yet. So we've masked this up really poorly. We're going to spray that. Oh, I see. I'll give you some advice on these when I've web browser positioned across. So this is you using your current method, right? The guy in the middle is quite nice. What's the one on the guy in the middle? What's he? Well, that's no good. Because he's the best one. What I would suggest is, in my opinion, which doesn't matter because they're your models and it's what you think that matters, I think they're too bitty. What I mean by that is they're very scruffy. Not in a way like in the way that the neatness is or anything, because the eyes are great. It's just they've got that telltale sign of being like dry brushed up and then knocked back. Does that make any sense? Especially the left two. I would keep them. I'd get one, prime it black. Don't do any dry brushing or any nonsense on it. Just do it all black. The gritty, which isn't a bad thing, especially when I paint grim dark stuff all the time. But you've got to make it intentional. So do it all black. And then just make sure when you get your grey colour that we were talking about earlier on, that when you spray it, it's not bitty. You want to get it nice and smooth. So make sure you've got your the thinness of the paint right for spraying, and just do nice little sprays. And also get the feet, get the knees as well. And then you can always add on with a sponge some dark patches or some chipped elements. But get a nice solid base before you do that. The guy in the middle is cool though. He's just in the most honest way I can say it, they look like they've been battered around a model box for ages and you've pulled them out. Know what I mean? The amount of zenithal lighting on that one in the middles is good. I would do maybe a little bit stronger, so when you do a nice wash over the top, whether it's enamel or whatever you decide to do, it'd look great. Because the one thing you've probably experienced is you've got a black model and you've highlighted it up whichever way you've done it, and you've gone, oh, it's too bright now, I need to darken it off. Because you're working in such a small range between your darkest colour and your palest colour, it's really difficult to get a nice balance that's visibly black, but at the same time gives you enough highlight. Do you know what I mean? You'll get there. I just try approaching them from a slightly different angle, because black's difficult to get right. Like, he's a guy I started ages ago, and I A, didn't finish him, and B, oh, there's his head, I thought I'd lost it. Stopped working on, because I made his highlights too wide, so he doesn't have the contrast. I'll be starting this guy again at some point. Oh yeah, I thought I'd lost his head. It's there on the rock. But that light on there is my dark to light. Yeah, we'll get this guy finished at some point. Apart from, we're going to change his palette. If anyone's wondering why he's not on the base properly, it was so I could paint him. He does have a shield, it's here. We also didn't do any work on that. This was actually not black. This is Tamiya Sea Blue. That's Tamiya Sea Blue. But now I know a decent recipe, the one that's on the flyer. We can redo it. Right, zoom me out. We're in the wrong scene, that's why it's not. So yeah, he's the proper full look again then of where we're at. Hey Builder. The bottom, very basic. A censored picture on your Facebook feed. Is there any sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Summary? No, it's not. It's a bit shitty at the moment. Once we get that initial wash phase on, it'll... My question to you is, who's posting it and why have you got it on your Facebook feed? The best thing I ever did for Facebook was either remove or silence or put not interested in probably about 95% of the people I was friends with, and then joined a load of groups of interests I liked. So my feed is now just models, modelling, Warhammer stuff, and that's about it. I don't get any bullshit politics. I don't get any nonsense baby pictures, which I understand you'll be sharing your baby pictures to your family. But I don't want to be seeing baby pictures on my feed. So the people who post all them all the time, I know that that's their right and that's what they like doing, but I don't want to see it on my feed, so I just hide those people. So I have a nice thing to look at. And I also don't go on Twitter. Absolute fucking horror show of a place. That's masking fluid. We're going to clean the airbrush and spray some metals now. Because yeah, well, you can train it to not have that. You've just got to tell it specifically you don't want to see these things. And since I did it, my Facebook experience has improved not only the things I see, but you know, your mental health as well. But so is Twitter. Twitter is an even bigger garbage heap. Ran by a garbage heap. It's all dependent, I suppose the same as on all of these social networks, all dependent on who you follow and how open it is to the information that's on it. Really clean. As somebody who should be using social media a lot, you know, streaming and what have you, I hate social media. I remember when I was younger and like my parents were like, social media, rubbish, etc. And now I'm that age where like I hate it, can't stand it. I wish it wasn't there. Airbrush is clean, he says, with it looking like this. Instagram has been probably the easiest to police of them all, but that's because it's limited in what it does. I don't see anything other than Warhammer stuff on my Instagram. Let's have a look. Warhammer and memes from Eames. This is the first thing that's appeared on my Instagram. We're all going to watch and be amazed by the size of that 1/6 scale Tiger 1 going into the boot of somebody's car up ramps. That's ridiculous. But yeah, it's just like, look, miniatures, that's an advert, ignore that. That's a maker. Models, that's animals. We'll have that, because that's animals. Also, we've got miniatures, animals. That's mine. Miniatures, animals. Paint, miniatures. What's this? Animals. Miniatures, animals. Best way. Miniatures and animals. Well, the guy who's posted that video, Heinrich Wu Bain, he has a video of him sat on top of that tank as he's driving it round. But you ain't going to be driving it down the motorway. How are we going to do this? The only thing I don't like about Instagram is how much it's pushed reels lately. Just because TikTok exists. Getting off? Good night, buddy. See you later. Wednesday, I'll be hanging out. Thanks again, Paul. Right, so we've got our gunmetal in there, so we can take this stuff off now. How about that then? It's quick, eh? And yeah, there's a little bit of cleanup to get all this right out of here, but mostly it saved us some time. If we can get it out of this little hole. So you can hear the dogs decided to thunder up and down the stairs. There's a little bit in there. Maybe it can stay there. I don't know. It's taking longer to take this out than it did to spray the colour. Okay, it's a solid base. Next up we need to work out what we're doing with these drum bits. I think they need to be copper of some sort. But we'll highlight up that gold while we have a thing full of it. Not yet. You need to stop bugging me about it. You'll get them, and I'll let you know when you get them. There's still some more. There's some big ones that are costing a lot to post out. And there's a few that need to go abroad. Remember, we don't get £700-800 a month to spend on what we want, Ken, like some people. And that's the third time you bugged me in public, so don't do it again, please. People do get the stuff from giveaways. It just takes time. Yeah, you did. You only had 2 to do. Well, 2 were a book, 1 was just a letter. But if you keep talking about it, Ken, I'm just going to shut you up. Well, 2 Marines are black again. Just be gentle with the spraying and you'll get it. And once you get a nice recipe, it'll be great. Feel free to send me messages, Ragnar, if you want to get it nailed down. I want to get you back into your hobby. You're out of it long enough. I don't want to get you disheartened by struggling to get your scheme right. So now we've got that silver that's in the airbrush cup. I can touch up a couple of little pieces. Yeah, it can be a pain in the ass, Black. I was happy the other day when I found out that recipe for that worked on the flyers. There's a little bit. No, because once you get it sorted, it'll be fine. And the 30k, what's it? Dark Angels are really cool. Visually, they're still Dark Angels though. So I think one of those would be more alive than it is. All the 30k Dark Angel stuff looks really cool. Especially the Leviathan. The Leviathan's probably the best. Well, it is the same scale. Or do you mean you just want the soldiers to be a little bit bigger? Not compared to the things, they're not that much bigger than a Mark 6. Yeah, you need to check the pictures of the Mark 6s versus the Primaris. There's not that much in it. The thing is, it's not scale creep as such. What it is that the Marines were always too small. For example, they could only, when they were making them, they had to be a certain size. So they could manufacture them without it costing a fortune, because they had to make the molds, the plates to produce them. If they made the Marines the right size back in the day, it would have cost too much. So they made all the troops the same size. So infantry like the Guard or the Solar Auxilia are pretty much the same size as a Marine. And a Predator tank or a Rhino is too small. And they'll always stay too small. So the Mark 6s that they redid in plastic, they're a little bit taller, so when you compare them next to an unarmoured human, they don't look silly. You know what I mean? I don't like the new Mark 3s. I think they're rubbish. I think they've just fucked them up. They'll be taller, but the helmets are all awful on them. The knees are also really bad, and their backpacks sit too low on the back. The shoulder pads on the Mark III Marines have also been made less bulky. I think they've really messed the Mark IIIs up. The best Mark IIIs are where you take bits from the old kit and bits from the new one. So you take the old Mark III helmets and you take the old Mark III shoulder pads and put them on the new Mark IIIs. Like really, a Rhino should be like 1.5 times bigger at least than it is. How many Space Marines are supposed to fit in it? And probably ammunition and supplies, and fit an engine in it, and the gearboxes, and all the wheels, and the driving compartment. A Rhino should have that footprint rather than that footprint. It should be like that. Even then you still struggle to get 10 in there. It's not even going to make any sense, is it? Because this is now thin plastic and it would have to be bulkier. But if that was correctly sized in there, you could probably get, 8 in there. Let's see what the game plan is on this next one. Well, we've got to redo those back engines. I'm looking at this one. The engines need redoing. Decals. The guns. Steps. Still, I haven't worked out what I'm doing with this big gun yet. It's going to be tight. Get these sorted. Look, got a scratch from moving it. It's a bit tight. But we'll manage. Let's work out what we're doing next stream first. They're looking alright together. I can't wait to get the rest of the OSL on this one, just so these red elements are more balanced. Well, there's not many runes on the top though. That's the thing, there's not very many runes on the top, but from the side view, we've got all these down the side of here and down here and on the engines here. Hopefully there's a light in the middle of the guns. There is, so we can have red in there as well. That's why we've got that little red dot just on that bit there. Part of me wants to get this one varnished and weathered up before we even tackle that one. Just because I'm itching to see how this will look. Which is the one that you got though this week, Heinrich? Was it the Vindicator or was it the one that's got like the laser guns on the front? There you go, the Laser Destroyer. That's the one you've got. So the next question is, does that Vindicator Laser Destroyer, are those las cannons on the front rotary, are they just standard? It's also better than the standard plastic one. I'm not keen on the dozer blade on the standard one, with the hole cut out for the cannon. So today on Facebook, the Forge World Facebook page got renamed. It's no longer Forge World anymore. It is now just Warhammer the Horus Heresy. So yeah, there's no more Forge World. At least outwardly. I don't know whether you're still going to get boxes with Forge World written on them. You probably will do until they go through the stock that they've got, but I'm wondering whether they're just Forge World becomes no more. I've noticed when you go to, if you're on the Warhammer community page and you go to shop, the drop down still has Games Workshop and Forge World and Black Library, etc. on there. So that'll go. And it probably won't be long before all the Black Library stuff gets shoved into the main shop. And the merchandise gets shoved into the main shop. And the Warhammer art gets shoved into the main shop. So that Warhammer art, I'm sure half the community doesn't even know it exists. Probably another 2 years, Ken. So long it's taken to get the website up to the shit state it's in. You can probably take it off and just be ready there to just sand it flush again. Which piece did you get, Leepu? I might re-go over these red bits just with some corn red, just to dull them a little. It's not actually as shiny, well, it's not as red as it looks in person, that. But corn might be the better option. Oh, did you? That's the cool one. That's a cool one. We did a Crypt Stalker, Necron Crypt Stalker in the summer in that sort of theme. We basically did a really desaturated high shine metal, dulled it all down with some landing gear wash, and then did some Tesseract Glow OSL work on it. And it was alright. We did the whole thing in like 3 hours. If you did a whole army like that on tabletop, it'd be great. But I think my problem with trying to replicate that with the actual Necrons is modern Necron's just a little bit too cartoony. And I know they can't make them thinner and more skeletal-like just because they'd be so flimsy. But I don't know what it is. It's just something about the modern Necrons that's just a little bit too cartoony for me. Like, I did some Necrons where I head swapped them for the Unmade from Warcry. And those were okay. I think it might just be the heads. I wonder whether you could get away with just replacing all the Necron metal skulls with actual skulls and get somewhere close. What the ragtime did, the stupid sniper? Yep. I'm not a fan of the direction they're going in with the AdMech, and I had a load of AdMech. I had about 2,000 points of AdMech, not including knights. When it was the Dune Stalker and the Cataphrons, and they've gone for silly. If you compare the stuff you get for the Mechanicus in 30k and the stuff you get in 40k, it's just ridiculous. They've gone, oh, let's just get Leonardo da Vinci's sketchbook and let's just make stuff from that. The The stupid winged flyer is ridiculous. The tank that they've got, the hover tank, is absolutely awful. I don't mind the horse dog rider thingies, but the sniper is probably the lowest of the low. Not keen on that guy. The soldiers with the wings, maybe not too bad. But that flyer is just awful. The flyer in the hovercraft with the nails in the coffin for me. But the 30k stuff for Mechanicus is great. It's just loads and loads of robots. And then really cool steampunk tanks. Like the armoured, is it the armoured conveyor or something that they've got? The big, layered tank. He's great. It's just some of the AdMech stuff in 30k's starting to show its age a bit. The smaller troops starting to show their age a little bit, but the bigger mechanical constructs are great. Plus, you get the Ordinatus thingy. That's really cool. Apart from the mole, I don't like the mole. The problem I have with the mole is it's basically the carrier for that big space laser, but with one of these on its back. It just reminds me too much of a 2-litre Coke bottle in its design. I can't remember what it's called now. But it's not too far off stream end time, so we're going to call it here, I think. You just want more Sororitas models. A tank not fully based on a Rhino would be nice. That's one of my problems with the sisters. Is the tanks are just the silly. The silly. It's like, oh, we need to have like a church tank, do you? Do you really though? Because the sisters, the walkers for the sisters are really good. Like Morgan Val with the other walkers, really good. The Penitent engines, really good. The Rhino tanks, yeah, no thanks. I just wish they'd stop doing so much Cadian stuff for the Guard. Nundams. They look like they were really fun to paint. And yeah, those Penitent engines with the guys in the wooden robot suits, they're good. Out of all the regiments that are missing, what would I like to see back? Obviously we're getting the odd bit of Death Corps because they're really popular, but there's Talon, Mordians. So Talon are like Lawrence of Arabia. You've got Vostroyans, the Russians. We ain't gonna get them ever. We've got the Mordians, which are a cross between Napoleonics and Germans. Who else was there? Valhallans. Valhallans would be alright. I'd like to see them redone. And then there was Steel Legion. We won't see any Steel Legion again because they're too close in aesthetic to Death Corps. The thing is, how do you do Valhallans without them just looking like Russian peasants? That's the issue, isn't it? You say that, Ken, when they've just re-released the entire base game, have redone a lot of it all in plastic at massive expense. I hope it never becomes as popular as 40k. It doesn't need to become as popular as 40k. It just needs to do what it keeps doing with good narrative campaigns that make sense. Don't turn it into a horrible competitive nightmare. Just tell the stories within the era as primary. Have narrative events and just bring it up to, to scratch. There was the what are they called? The Solar Auxilia models from Forge World are really good. I don't know whether you had a proper look at them, Heinrich, have you? The Solar Auxilia were really cool. And there was another range that Forge World pulled. They used to do, I can't remember who it was. Thing is, I don't personally want to see any futuristic guard aesthetics. You just mentioned them above. The Elysians. Are the Elysians who are the guys that they brought out recently from 40k that were like heavily armored marine types? What were they called? Was that them? I don't like them. They just look like they're from a different game. Look like they're from a modern warfare miniatures game. Like they're just so bland and generic. Nothing on them screams anything from the aesthetic of Warhammer at all. Like, you compare those that they did to another guard unit that they brought out a similar sort of time. Was it the Kasrkin I was on about? The Kasrkin I was on about. That's who I'm on about. The plastic ones. To the phone. Yeah, the Kasrkin, the plastic ones for Kill Team. Oh, this fucking website. Stuck on the Welcome to What? Get lost. Well done, website. You've just completely gone. Seriously, this website is the worst thing I've ever seen. These, absolutely awful. Generic space soldier man. Yeah, I did. Let's look for the ones you were on about. Oh yeah, I wasn't on about these. I was on about the ones I was on about. I'm looking at them now. These drop troops. Yeah, they need updating. Where are these guys are cool? Come on. See, these lads are really good. Apart from him, he's just silly. He's just a bit silly. But these guys are cool. He has too many telescopes for my liking. See, that's a lot more Warhammer than those stupid Kazakins. Look at his coat. I even like the blue scheme as well. Yeah, those are a win. Even the normal troops of them are really good. Yeah, I'll show you after stream. We're nearly finished. Do you know the biggest problem with these? Let's see if you can work out what the biggest problem with this unit is. You have one guess each. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 guys in it. Let's see, £79. Yeah, fuck off. £79 for six boys. £79. Nope. No. Not happening. Fucking joke. £79. Right, we're done. Till Thursday. We set off like gangbusters on these this week. I don't think we had any of the trim done or any of the... It was basically just grey, if I remember rightly. In fact, did we... On Thursday, were we still masking these up? I think we were, weren't we? I think that's what was going on. Yeah, it's a tricky one. So hopefully by this time next week, that one will be at least as far along as that, if not further. The trim will all be in. Hopefully the enamels will be on, and we can start the basing. Get the basing done on it. But anyway, what's been happening? Paulie dropped 4 months of resubs. Thank you very much. 100 biddies from Nick Spear. Yeah, I've got to base these. I've got to find where to put my flight sticks. That'll be fun because the more I have them on here, the more I'm going to have like paint chips on the bottom of these engine points. So I need to raise them up. Well, yeah, it'll be a flight stand, but the base will be like the army. Anyway, we're not raiding on. We're just going to finish. I'm going to fix this as well, so we can actually do proper raids again. Have a good one, everybody. Thanks for being here. Have a good week, and see you Thursday. Remember, subs. We have the group voice thingy on Wednesday nights. Good night. Take care.